Welcome back to the Echo's Tales, where we dig deeper than vocabulary lists and grammar drills. Today, instead of new words, we're exploring the major mistakes that keep English learners stuck for years. Dr. Can you share why so many diligent students still struggle to make progress, even after years of effort?
Absolutely. The main issue isn't a lack of intelligence or effort, but rather invisible barriers in a learner's mindset and study habits. Studies show that perfectionism, fear of mistakes, and unhealthy comparison to others can stall progress far more than a lack of knowledge. These psychological traps often go unnoticed but have a massive impact.
That's fascinating, especially since most students focus on external resources rather than internal obstacles. Before we dive into specific traps, why is it so important to address these mental barriers?
Because language learning is deeply personal, your beliefs shape your results. If your mindset blocks you from speaking or practicing, even the best textbooks won't help. Shifting your thinking can unlock the progress that's been missing. Let's start by looking at the most common and damaging trap: the fear of making mistakes.
Many students freeze up when it's time to speak English, even if they've spent months studying. Why is the fear of mistakes such a powerful block? And what actually happens in a learner's mind during these moments?
It's a classic analysis paralysis. Learners overthink every word, grammar, rule, and pronunciation detail. This self-monitoring slows them down so much that the chance to speak often disappears. Ironically, this fear grows with more studying if it isn't balanced with real speaking practice.
That's similar to stage fright. Even knowing your lines isn't enough if you never practice performing. How do successful learners overcome this anxiety and actually use their English?
They treat mistakes as valuable feedback rather than failures. For example, setting a daily speaking goal, like recording a 2-minute diary entry, creates a safe space to make errors. Over time, this lowers anxiety and builds confidence. Like learning to play an instrument, you need to practice making sounds, not just reading music.
So the key is shifting from perfectionism to progress. That's a great bridge to our next topic, the common trap of getting lost in grammar rules. Grammar is often seen as the backbone of language learning. Yet, many learners get stuck obsessing over rules and exceptions. How can too much grammar study actually slow down English progress?
When learners focus excessively on grammar, they start processing language like a computer, pausing mid-sentence to calculate tenses or articles. This disrupts natural communication. Research shows that children master their first language through exposure and practice, not by memorizing rules. Adults can benefit from a similar context-based approach.
So, would you say it's more effective to learn grammar in real situations rather than isolated drills? Could you give an example?
Absolutely. For instance, after hearing a new tense in a TV show, try using it in your own sentences about your day. This mirrors how native speakers build intuition by noticing patterns rather than reciting rules. Most daily conversation uses simple structures, so mastering these through active use is far more impactful.
That's a refreshing perspective. It sounds like the real goal is effective communication, not perfect grammar. Now, let's discuss another hidden barrier: constantly comparing ourselves to other learners. Social media is full of people showing off perfect English, which can make learners feel left behind. How does this comparison trap damage motivation, and what's a healthier approach?
Constant comparisons create a false picture of success, ignoring the years of practice behind each fluent video. This leads to frustration and even giving up. A healthier approach is to track your own progress, like keeping a journal of new words or celebrating small victories, such as understanding a movie scene without subtitles.
That's such a practical tip. Speaking of progress, many learners consume English content passively, watching videos, reading articles, but still struggle to use the language actively. Why is passive learning alone not enough?
Passive input is like watching someone cook but never entering the kitchen. Without speaking or writing, your skills remain one-sided. Active use, summarizing a podcast out loud, discussing an article, or teaching new concepts forces you to organize thoughts and practice real communication, leading to true fluency.
So the best results come from balancing input with output. As we wrap up, can you share a motivational phrase or method that encapsulates these ideas for our listeners? To help our listeners remember these lessons, what's one phrase or mindset shift that can make a real difference on their language journey?
A powerful phrase is, practice makes progress, not perfection. This reminds learners that every attempt, every error, and every conversation moves them forward. The goal isn't to be flawless, but to improve, bit by bit, day by day.
That's both encouraging and practical. For those feeling stuck, what's one action they can take this week to break out of these traps and see real change?
Pick one common trap, maybe fear of mistakes or passive learning, and commit to a small, daily active practice. For instance, speak for 2 minutes each morning or write a short summary of a video. Reflect on your progress in a journal. Over time, these small steps add up to big results.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez, for these transformative insights. Remember, listeners, your journey is unique. The real secret of English fluency is consistent, active practice, and self-encouragement. Until next time, keep practicing and keep believing in yourself.